that creates 7 different types of circuits throughout the body. All right? That's where you get the chakra system. Once those are all healthy and in alignment, then your body can start conducting some serious high-powered energies into it and radiating out of it. But until that, till you deal with this work, like you got fat, sloppy people eating McDonald's talking about opening up your chakras. It's never going to happen. Their chakras is not open. Okay? So there's no enlightenment on cheeseburgers and 40 ounces and or they uppity, so they might be having wine and Hennessy and $25 packs of cigarettes and shit like that makes a difference. All right, here's a scientific paper. Oxidation causes melanin fluorescence. All right, now oxidized melanin. Oxidized melanin produces a yellow color, a yellow light. A yellow light. Where will we get a yellow light from? Ammonia or sulfur? What does that oxidized compound produce? Carbon monoxide. This is why your eyes become yellow as a sign of ammonia. Even getting high produces that yellowness in the eye. If you do it long enough, your eyes won't go back white. Okay? So understand this produces a cascade, a wave of ammonia throughout the body, especially when you wrap in cigars and blunt wraps. All right? So for the people using vapes that never use cigars and stuff like that, they don't have the same eye reddening phenomena as people that smoke weed with, the blunt wraps and all the crazy shit. Again, all right, this is maybe the 4th time I'm showing you this because this is the process of how information moves throughout your body. This is how it moves throughout your body from point 4 all the way throughout the body and back in reverse. Histones, plasma, DNA. Then you have the nervous system or the sensory system throughout the body. Aging. Now let's get to this. Every cell, bacteria, and parasite live off the energy you supply. As long as you have a good supply of inner chi, you can maintain a good state of health. If you don't supply all your tenants with energy, they will either stop working or rob and steal, eat one another for survival. You have to understand this. You have a lot of guys outside of our cells that live inside your body and on your body. They all require energy from you. All right? So as long as you got that energy coming in, everybody eating good, nobody complaining. Once people stop eating good, they're going to start taxing you. You're going to start feeling sluggish and sick and things go downhill. Now, the larger and more important aspect of aging is DNA RNA replication. In short, faulty DNA RNA replication creates wrinkles and blemishes, etc. that are visible. These are the visible signs of aging. Internally, improper replication can be deadly. Every cell, tissue, organ, and gland rely on DNA, RNA for optimal function as well as hydration, gas management. Okay? Every chemical bonds, surrounds, or leaves residues on the histones. This is why the histones are so important. The histones have enzymes designed to keep them functioning indefinitely efficient. However, they are inactive due to the diet. So, the histones regulate your DNA replication. Damaged DNA or RNA replication creates the major aspect of aging. All the chemicals and compounds bind to, surround, or leave residues on the histones, causing the messed up replication of the DNA and RNA. Your body has enzymes designed to clean those guys, but they're inactive due to diet. Okay? This is exactly how it really looks up under the microscope. Give you guys a better look at this stuff. Okay? Just want to give you some different looks. So you see that we serious. Now, you might want to pause this or whatever so you could really go in depth. I'm not going to stay too long on this. But these are the guys right here. Your sirtuins. These are the enzymes that are designed to keep the histones clean and functioning. You have a group of them. It's a team from 1 to 7. I think there's 8 now. They keep discovering more and more. Just like vitamin D, right? So they have a host of jobs. The number one thing is to keep your histones clean and functioning good. Clean and functioning good. Getting rid of ammonia. Killing tumor cells and cancer cells in the body. This is your body's defense mechanism. Getting rid of inflammation. All of these things are regulated by your histones. All of these things are taken care of when your sirtuin enzymes are functioning like they're supposed to. Now look at that P53. That P53 keep on popping up, huh? Anti-aging enzyme. Just give you a bigger close-up look at it. All right? Bigger close-up look at it. Your anti-aging enzyme. Sirtuin. The original immune system. Thymus, thyroid, and parathyroid. The brain. Electrical generator and translator. Water, charge carrier and compressor. When the body is full of structured water, there is no virus or bacteria that can live in the body, thus eliminating decay or aging. That's right. Do not forget to get that Mama Atomics and them 4-packs in you. Organs, electric transducers. Melatonin serves as sunlight when the sun goes down. People with melatonin production problems usually suffer from PNH. Okay? We talked about that. Cells are many brains. They create, store, transmit, and translate all frequencies of the electromagnetic spectrum. Now, look at this guy. The tobacco plant. This right here, what we're seeing, is the tobacco mosaic virus. This is the most widely researched virus on Earth. It looks just like a blunt or a cigarette. Now, when they take tobacco and ammonia, combine them, that's how they produce niacin. Yes, from your vitamin B group. This is what synthetic vitamin B is about. Tobacco and ammonia. All right? Tobacco and ammonia. Here's the paper. Longitudinal relation between smoking and white blood cells. Every time you take a puff of a cigarette, your white blood cell count goes up. Why? Because smoking is a white blood cell activity. White blood cells actually create the urge internally for you to smoke because it increases their population. It increases their population. So this is an act of terraforming. All right? You have to understand these cells, all of your cells are a part of what you call your thinking, where your thoughts come from, the urges come from. White blood cells give you urges for cigarettes, meat, blood, alcohol. Wait a minute. What is this guy doing over? Oh, yeah. All of these things are fortified with tobacco and ammonia. Yeah. Niacin, as well as a host of other B vitamins, are loaded into all these cereal boxes for you. Yeah. All the shit you feeding your children. All beers fortified with nicotine. The flush from niacin. Anybody who's ever taken niacin to verify that flush you get. All right. The science behind that is the flush comes from white blood cells filling up with histamines, which then creates a wave of ammonia and nitrogen compounds throughout your body. It's in all of the children's, the toddlers' foods, everything. As soon as they say fortified with vitamins, that's what they're talking about. Nitrogen, ammonia, and tobacco. Right? The majority of your hunger cravings come from these guys. This is why people transitioning from their diet, they eat a nice big healthy salad, drink a nice smoothie, and they still feel unsatisfied. Why? Because they got that craving for blood in there still. Okay? Now, this is a list of the damage that chemicals do when they bind to the histones. Okay? Chemical, an adjective and a suffix. Chem, meaning blackness, the suffix pertaining to or affecting. So, anything that pertaining to affecting the blackness, right? Chemicals, cellular atrophy, apoptosis, division obsessed cells, immortal cells, mitochondrial mutations, intracellular junk, extracellular calcification. These are the 7 results of the chemicals that bind to the histones. All right? So, really quick, these are real-time examples. Cancer, 2, 3, and 5, meaning division obsessed cells, immortal cells, and intracellular junk, right? That is cancer. Heart disease, 1, 5, 6, and 7. It's a party, right? Cellular atrophy, apoptosis, intracellular junk, and extracellular calcification. Alzheimer's, 1, 5, and 6. Cellular atrophy, intracellular junk, and extracellular junk. And that, well, we'll talk about it in a little while. That extracellular and intracellular junk, those acids, those toxins actually have a profound effect on your melanin. And here we go. Right? Let's get to the star of the show, the guy causing all the confusion in the white world right now, Will Smith. Right? Concussion. What are the specifics? What's the skinny on a concussion? The science. Tau proteins are choking the microtubule system. The microtubule system is the cellular nervous system that conducts electrons, misnomered oxygen, right? The melanin centers in the brain begin to turn white due to the melanin being converted into adrenaline, which is a nitrogen-based compound. Solution mechanisms. Number 1, tau proteins are serine threonine based, and as sulfur thiols enter the brain holy spaces, the serine, right, which is no different, which is why I showed it to you earlier in that sulfur cycle, is only 1 oxygen different in the protein chain than sulfur. So what happens is as the sulfur comes in, that oxygen is replaced by sulfur and changes the nature of the serine, and that's why the tau proteins then, once modified, start to choke the brain by strangling the microtubule system and not letting any electrons flow throughout the brain. Physical death, okay? Physical death, yes. Everyone who's experienced a concussion experienced a physical death, which is a break in the circuit. Your body's electric. You have a circuit. When you get that impact, boom, that impact short circuits the electromagnetic grid in the body. All right? That creates a cascade of rigor mortis. All right? The pigment centers begin going back to carboxylic acids, and ammonia compounds are the first stop. All right? So, let's take it back and do it. Let's go through it again. The concussion cascade. Neuromelanin gets converted to adrenaline. The substantia nigra and the locus coeruleus or ceruleus become white as their pigment is converted into adrenaline and pumped into the cerebral spinal fluid. All right, the SN is black, the LC is purple. The same way oxygen infuses electrons into biological systems causing growth, nitrogen pulls electrons out of biological systems causing atrophy, which is shrinking and wrinkling. The PSC, which is nitrogen base, and the CTE, which is inflammation base, turn, and those are the post-concussion syndromes. Actually, that's actually what that's named, post-concussion syndrome and chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Turn the CSF and the cerebral spinal fluid in the nervous system into a distribution system for ammonia and nitrogen, which causes advanced aging, muscle tissue, and skeletal decay. You got to get this work. I know it's tough to get through it all. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. Adrenaline in and on the brain renders iron useless and depletes magnesium. The body tries to compensate by sending more blood to the brain, and this is where you get the creation of tumors, blood clots, and lesions. This is what we've been hard at work on, giving you that solution. Okay? Now, sulfur, thiol, and ammonia-based compounds also create high levels of carbon monoxide by dramatically speeding up the oxidation of carbon in the brain, and a bad diet works just as good as a concussion for this. The symptoms mask themselves as dehydration, all right, because when you put more water in the body, it dilutes the ammonia, slowing down the oxidization of the carbon throughout the body, slowing down the production of carbon monoxide, also allowing your body to flush those areas. So usually if you drink a bunch of water and take a nap, then you wake up feeling fine, all right? Because also when you take a nap, you lay down. And when you lay down, the gas that was trapped in the top of the skull actually gets to dissipate a little bit, and it also gets to readjust itself throughout the entire body, which takes the pressure off the brain and gets rid of the headache. So all of this stuff is genocide. I'm trying to explain this to you, man. Now, carbon monoxide, okay? I did not pay $40 to get the research, but I'm just giving you a place where you can go grab it. Carbon monoxide, does fetal exposure cause sudden infant death syndrome? Okay, I've been showing you a variety of reasons, especially in the book Vegan Babies, why. And you can get the Vegan Babies book at 40dayfruitfast.com. But why, and of course, all of the students get Vegan Babies for free in the God Complex. But why it is that sudden infant death syndrome seems to affect black babies more than everybody else. Here is just another reason. All right? Infants don't have the kidney and liver activity of adults, nor do they have the enzymes to metabolize sulfur and ammonia like adults. Okay? Now, take a look at this. Iodine versus nitrogen. Iodine versus nitrogen. This is the key right here. We're not getting that iodine into our diet. We don't even look at sea vegetables. Where can you get that from? It's in the histonic. Where can you get that potassium from? It's in the histonic. You see? So we're making sure that we have the compound. We got you smothered, covered, and fried, laid to the side. You heard me? All right. Carbon melanin transfer information in the form of hexagonal magnetic fields to and from the plasma of the body to the various mineral cells, tissues, organs, and glands. This is why it's so crucial to understand how these minerals play a role in your body. Aluminum destroys melanocytes. Nitrogen destroys melanocytes. You got to get this. All right. Now, here's the key. Look at this. P53, if you remember, that guy kept on popping up. P53, along with your selenium-based proteins and enzymes, kill tumor and cancer when the genes are turned on. So now, who's controlling the genes being turned on? The histones with the ammonia gene through the NOT signaling pathway. But that whole system is being shut down by the genocide being practiced against you from the things being added to your food like HEK293, the high levels of ammonia, etc., etc., etc. Okay? This is how iodides, bromides, chlorides, and phosphates work in the body. I'm giving you the super details, the breakdown, so you can see how this stuff works. Okay? How selenium and copper bind up glutamine and arginine and get them jokers up out of the body. Bromides, all right, just so you get it, all right. Iodides regulate cellular oxidation. Bromides keep the body connected to the EM spectrum. Lack thereof can create epileptic seizures. Chlorides are always acids. However, in the body, they maintain pH balance and hydrochloric acid so you can digest your food. Phosphates are awesome for electrical conductivity. Therefore, phosphates facilitate bioelectric integrity in the body. Okay? You got to get this work over here. Okay? Here's our guy. All right? Dr. Bennett Omalu. All right? What were they telling Dr. Benedict Omalu? Oh, that's pseudoscience. You must be practicing voodoo. You a witch doctor. That's not real. That's not, where's your references? He's like, yo, how do I have a reference for something I discovered? What's wrong with you people? It's weird. Like I experienced that conversation somewhere. Oh no, I know why I got that. Yeah, that's what Minister Inky deals with. Oh, wait a minute. That's what Dr. Sabi dealt with in the 80s. Oh, I see a recurring theme. Anyway, 7 out of 10 athletes or people who experience serious concussions liken them to out-of-body experiences, and many accounts match near-death experience descriptions. Why? Because electricity creates magnetic fields, and magnetic fields generate electricity. So when the body's circuit is broken, the magnetic field is temporarily still held in place. And if that circuit is repaired fast enough, consciousness resumes. Okay? So this is how that whole out of body experience is played out with that concussion. But it's not to be taken lightly. Like, you could keep on doing that because we just went through the process where brain albinism is beginning to set in. All right. Now, what is this? This is our ancestors. This is in the pyramids. This is grape cultivation. Why? Let's go back to that guy Amun, the perfect black, Wusir, right? Yeast versus grapes. Grapes are a natural prey of yeast, as are humans. However, grapes possess a secret weapon. The grape seed destroys yeast, specifically candida. This is why the seeds have been removed from grapes to promote the growth of yeast in the body. Grapes are a natural food for the God body with that seed in there. All right? That's the story of Amun, the green man. He civilized the planet with the purple black grape. All right? And now we're going to show you why. Okay, now we're going to show you why. Angiogenesis is the creation of blood vessels that will feed fat cells and cancer cells. Outside of keeping the liver clean and strong and destroying fat 24/7. An anti-angiogenesis diet is paramount. The only anti-angiogenesis diet is all fruit diet. All right. A diet high in vegetables should be juiced to be effective. First, people need to know that the main thing your body needs is air or oxygen. The second thing, okay, is water. So you're adding hydrogen to the oxygen, HO. First you had an O, now it's H to the is O. So now you got water. The third thing we need is food, carbohydrates. So we're going to add a C to the H to the is O. Now you got CHO, carbohydrate. All right. Now, the fourth thing is protein. So you add nitrogen to the carbohydrate, and now you got your proteins. All right. But the secret is we have so much so much nitrogen in the air. And I just showed you the systems where the liver synthesizes these things. We don't have to get dead animals, etc., etc., etc. Anyway, the focus, all right, is the first carbohydrate on Earth is formaldehyde. All right, but moving right along, past formaldehyde. All right, there's magic in the 6th density of this formula because it creates the second carbohydrate, which is the most healthy on earth, and that's grape sugar. All the other fruits have different variations of grape sugars. Grapes is the grape sugar scientifically is the first stop on edible carbohydrates. This is why it's the most potent, the most healthy. All right? Okay. Yeah. So some of the stuff you could pause it and go through, get the rest of the stuff, but I got to get to the meat and potatoes. Water, oil, pigment, light. I want y'all to get this. Water uses oil because oil holds pigment, because pigment holds light. That is the sequence of life. You have to have healthy oils, aka fatty acids, or there is no life. Universal intelligence gave highly pigmented peoples control over light. Light is our number one nutrient, savior, and weapon of mass destruction. The universe grants abundance with water and light. Never be afraid to shine in the darkness. Don't be afraid to be gifted in the face of those less fortunate. Inspire them. Okay? This is why you need to stay on the 4-pack. The Mama Atomics, the Genesis, the Fusion, the Magnet. This optimizes the body's electromagnetic activity. All right? Now, the star of the show, resveratrol. Resveratrol. Anthocyanins. These are grape sugar pigments. All right? Grape sugar pigments that activate. Here we go. That activate that sirtuin, those enzymes that keep the histones clean. I'm giving y'all a whole lot of science in one setting, so I know y'all might have to pause it, go deal with the children, go to work, come back, open that notebook up. This is why you take notes, okay? Here's the paper. Here's a paper. There's tons of them. I just grabbed you one, all right? This one I thought was nice and exciting. It shows how resveratrol, along with some other compounds, have the ability to completely change genetic expression in cancer and tumor cells, including the most malignant. All right. And it uses the proteins produced by the immune genes to do that. All right. So a quick walk through the resveratrol resume. All right. Longevity. It increases SIRT1 and SIRT2 expression, inhibits the expression of INK4A, induction of oxidative phosphorylation, and increases mitochondrial biogenesis, cellular respiration, neurodegenerative diseases. All right. Resveratrol gets rid of plaque formation, increases motor and cognitive functions, helps the body repair spinal cord injuries, and amyloid beta levels, those lesions and plaque. Right. Cardioprotective effects. VSMC migration and proliferation of pulmonary artery, endothelial cells. All right, those are those guys that come from the germ cells. Cardiac fibroblast differentiation, platelet aggregation, ischemia, reperfusion-induced arrhythmia. All of these things, resveratrol helps to protect your body from and or reverse some of the downsides. All right. So you don't want to protect your body from endothelial cells. those help. But ischemia, right? Cancer. You want to protect your body from cancer. Cancer-related transcription factors, right? Cell cycle regulation and induction of apoptosis. That means resveratrol through the immune. Right? We can't leave my man out. Right? We can't leave the Kamenu out, right? But it tells the cancer cells to kill themselves. If you don't want to behave right, kill yourself, right? Then it gets down to our main focus, diabetes. And look at the bottom of diabetes right there, renal dysfunction. Why is the kidney, renal, whenever you see renal, it's kidney. Why is that related to diabetes? We're going to blow that wide open. That is the secret. That's one of the biggest secrets of this whole genocide by ammonia, right? Inflammation, all right? All of that inflammation. Now, we get a lot deeper. Sirtuin activation. Look at this over here. White blood cells are reduced. Mitochondrial biogenesis up. Vasodilation up. All right, this is the specifics. This gives you a lot more detail in the activity of what resveratrol is doing in the body. Again, that's why you watching at home, so you could pause it. I already got this work. I want to get you through this. Now, calorie restriction, fasting, and resveratrol combine to get that sirtuin activation. Look at that P53. That's your tumor and cancer cell killer right there. Metabolic disease, gone. Cardiovascular disease, gone. Mitochondrial disorders, gone. Neurological disorders, gone. Mitochondrial biogenesis, up. Way up, we feel. Now, how does the histonic do all this? How does the histonic